Thank God it's Friday, everybody. Hacking, sneezing, and wheezing my way through this week with the pollen in the air. Garden State Weather, gardenstateweather.blogspot.com. Good morning, everyone. Superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region. Daily video forecast for Friday, the 16th of May, 2014. Surface analysis this morning. Winds increasing from the south-southeast. This morning, cold front still well back out to the west, and just moderate to heavy rain is falling, and I'll show you that in just a moment. It's a little slower getting in here this morning, but nonetheless it is. There's fog in areas this morning where it's been pretty damp. 66 degrees. Dew points are in the low to mid 60s too, making relative humidity values near 100%. This fog is going to be dissipating as the winds increase during the next couple of hours, and we've got all this entire area in a flood watch for today. Bird's eye view of Google Mapping's Earth Streamline analysis shows the cold front now through central Pennsylvania down through Maryland and Virginia, and the onshore flow. Look at all of this moisture convergence here. Right up the eastern seaboard, plenty of moisture is on the way. The good news is that once this gets out of here tonight, the weekend should be relatively dry, albeit scattered clouds of cumulus during the afternoon and spotty showers as well during this weekend scattered about, but a much drier forecast, and I want to emphasize that. Begin the day with a numerous area of watches and warnings. Of course, yesterday I posted this on the emails as well. Flash flood watch in effect until late tonight, and that's for this entire region. We're expecting 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, locally higher amounts than any thunderstorms. Flash flooding is possible along small streams, rivers, and creeks, and also urban areas, especially in these rainfall amounts are met and exceeded in a 6-hour period or less. And that's for just about the entire area, excepting the immediate shorelines here on the coast of Ocean and Monmouth and Cape May counties in New Jersey. Of course, this morning we have small craft advisories in effect until 6 this evening. That's for southeast winds at 15 to 25 knots, gust up to 30 knots, becoming south this evening, shifting northwest and decreasing tonight with the passage of the cold front. Seas are choppy at 7 to 10 feet. Back in here, in the brighter greens here, these are flash flood warnings out in central Pennsylvania, south central Pennsylvania, down through the Virginias and parts of Maryland as well. And this is for copious amounts of rain that I'm just going to show you over the last 12 hours since midnight. This is what I wanted to show you. The amounts of rain across central and southern Pennsylvania are approaching 2, 3, even reports of 4 inches now across these areas, and that's why we have watches and warnings out now. Warnings for all of this heavy rain across central, southeastern Pennsylvania in through portions of Maryland and Maryland and Virginia this morning. The good news, once again, is the main stem rivers across New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania, most of the Delaware River Valley here, are not going to flood. There's no flooding occurring and none that is forecasted over the next couple of days. However, in southeastern Pennsylvania, Brandywine Creek at Chadds Ford and Brandywine Creek at Wilmington is near flood stage, so we're going to monitor that. If we move this graphic over across central and southeastern Pennsylvania, we find a bunch of areas here. Penns Creek at Penns Creek, also areas of the Susquehanna River at Danville, and south of Harrisburg here, these are all Susquehanna River at Harrisburg. These are all near flood stage, and we're going to be monitoring this very closely throughout today. Early morning flights today look okay. There's no delays here at any of the airports just yet, but once the wall of rain starts getting in here, you can expect departure and arriving delays throughout the afternoon, increasing across the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metro area. I do share your pain with the allergies, especially, and we're going to be dealing with the allergies to pollen counts and grains on the high side Sunday through Tuesday of next week, but lowering today and tomorrow to the low and moderate side as a result of the rain that's coming in today, but bouncing right back up on Saturday and to the high side on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Oak, mulberry, and grasses are now the predominant pollens in the air. And of course, this is going to continue to be a problem going into next week. So now we're beginning with the grasses now. First it was the trees, and now it's the grass. On the aviational weather deck today, not the best day to be flying. Widespread MVFR, IFR, and even LIFR as a large swath of rain slowly pushes east. Conditions will either remain steady state or worsen through the morning and afternoon hours. A slow improvement is then expected this evening as the rain ends from southwest to northeast and ceilings gradually rise, with the cold frontal passage occurring during early this evening, and the winds will shift to the northwest behind it. VFR conditions expected through the day tomorrow on Saturday. and mainly VFR conditions expected Sunday through Tuesday. Some cumulus will likely develop each afternoon with bases at around 5,000 feet. Right now, outside of Newark, we are shrouded in LIFR conditions. 62 degrees, dew point 61, humidity 96%. The wind is southeast at 14, freshening to 21 miles per hour. Visibility 2 miles in fog. And we've got a lot of rain coming, heavy rain coming during late this afternoon with the cold frontal passage as well, and gusty low-level wind shear too. Now, for Philadelphia this morning, 71 degrees already, 63% humidity, 63 dew point, humidity 76%, the wind southeast 17, gust to 25 miles an hour. Visibilities are about 10 miles, and lots of rain is on the way through this region as well. Morning pass of the visible satellite this morning shows the clouds and the rain just on our back doorstep. Notice all this strong lifting on the water vapor imagery this morning and the massive amount of dry air right behind it. This is pulling in all of the moisture from the Gulf and from the Atlantic, and it's going to be feeding in plenty of moderate to heavy rainfall across the region during the next couple of hours into this evening. We can see this on the mosaic from the northeast sector here. All of this rain, moderate to heavy in the reds and yellows here. Green is moderate rain as well. All of this is moving in from the south to the north with an area of low pressure along the cold front this morning, and this rain is just going to be pummeling our region during this afternoon. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com and digital atmosphere software shows the cold front slowing up with a wave of low pressure developing across the Virginias and Maryland here this morning, with moderate to heavy rain occurring. Many of these areas now going into flooding, as 2, 3, 4 inches of rain has fallen over these areas in central Pennsylvania down through the Virginias, where the rain continues to train over the same locations from south to north. That's going to be moving in our direction shortly. National water vapor look at things this morning. Strong upper level divergence, low level jet increasing, mid and upper level jet increasing from the south to the north across the region as this low becomes negatively tilted, draws the cold front through the region during this evening. Look at all these vortmaxes rounding the base of the trough here, amplifying the lifting that is ongoing now across the eastern United States. High resolution rapid refresh precipitation and radar reflectivity forecast. Going into the next couple of hours, here's our wall of rain just to the south and west, increasing through the Delaware River Valley, the Delmarva region, the New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia metropolitan area during this morning into this afternoon and evening. And this takes us all the way until around supper time. And notice behind it, these are popcorn showers here developing in the upper trough that's just to the west. So the cold front swings through, but the upper trough is still very much present across the Great Lakes in the northeast, and because of the difference in temperature from the surface to the mid and upper levels, rapid cooling is occurring in this region, and we find a plethora of these spotty popcorn-like showers showing up on the radar reflectivity forecast for late this afternoon. But the focus here is, of course, the very heavy rainfall, and that will be producing ponding on the roads and flooding and just making a mess out of driving and traveling today from mid-morning right through this evening. NAM forecast, radar reflectivity from Penn State Seawall site, the rain coming in, the rain leaving, lots of flooding issues, driving concerns this afternoon and this evening into early tomorrow morning, and probably a lot of watches and warnings coming up for flooding throughout the day, so you must monitor things and pay attention closely. Do not drive through flooded waters, and take alternative routes if you know that the area you're driving in naturally floods. So you're going to have to allow yourself a lot of extra traveling time during today and tonight, and pack an extra bag of patience with you as well. And then the cold front moves through, high pressure builds in, but we have upper level troughing across the region and some shortwave maxes riding through. Could have areas of scattered clouds and a slim chance of a popcorn shower here or there throughout the weekend. Last night's runs of the 500 millibar height anomalies here from the European, the GFS, and the CMC showing the same thing. Trough south of the Aleutian Islands, ridging across portions of the northwest. Of course, we have our trough axis here, blocking pattern in the southeastern Pacific into southwestern United States. More ridging here across the central and southern plains showing up on all modeling, and of course that stubborn cutoff low across southeastern or northwestern Atlantic rather, and the negative NAO with high pressure ridging blocking over the top. And then we have this thermal trough or convergence here. Northwesterly winds, drying conditions some days, other days the focal mechanism for showers and thunderstorms with this boundary nearby. GFS maps into motion. Here's the rain for today. We'll move on because we're tired of hearing that already. Here's our upper trough across the Great Lakes. Swinging vortexes through cumulus clouds, especially during the heating of the afternoon hours, both Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and Monday afternoon. Spotty, scattered showers about the area as the trough then works its way into an upper level closed low, and that closed low moves off the uh, northwestern Atlantic here into Atlantic Canada. High pressure from the Great Lakes builds in across over the weekend. I find a few disturbances moving off the Virginia coast here and the Carolina coast that will not be affecting our weather. Now, this is what gets interesting. The heights begin to build across the Central Plains. Meanwhile, we still have the cutoff low and trough axis swinging eastward now. So we're on the northwest side with clearing conditions, high pressure in control, building heights, warmer temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday. But look what happens. A system, or a mesoscale convective complex, then begins to dive over the top of the ridge and comes down. This is being forecasted for next Thursday as a warm front begins to set up in this region. And we could have more rain around here later next week as that disturbance moves off. And then another disturbance with the warm frontal boundary just to the south and other disturbances in the northern branch as well. Then the polar branch converge together and produce an unsettled week from late week into early next weekend once again. Now, it won't be raining all the time, but the timing of all of this is going to be very dependent on the actual setup of where the upper low is and also where the surface thermal boundary is across the Midwest to the mid-Atlantic coast states. So on your way out the door this morning, remember, you're going to need your umbrella, your raincoat, and an extra bag of patience because it's going to be one of those crappy days outside weather-wise for the northern mid-Atlantic region. Good news is that things improve over the weekend, and next week, well, that's another story. But we've already discussed this. It's a wash, rinse, and repeat kind of spring so far. For Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a good Friday the best you can, and the weekend as well. We'll be back in video form on Monday morning, all the live coverage on both websites, Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.